Okay, so I hope everyone can hear me. Hi, everyone. My name is Prerna, and I'll be the one who'd be taking the webinar today. We have our guest with us today, which is Tejas San. Hello, Tejas San. Thank you so much for joining us here, taking out time for us, and thank you so much for our audience as well. So to start with this webinar, we'll start with your very basic short introduction, Tejas San. So I'm gonna give you the mic. Please give a short introduction of yourself.
Yeah, so my name's Tejash. I started learning Japanese in 2018, and after like a year and a half, I passed N2, and after that, I started looking for jobs in Japan. And through a recruitment agency, I was introduced to a company, and I interviewed with a company and got selected. I was supposed to come to Japan in April of 2021, but because of the pandemic, it got delayed, and I ended up joining the company in 2022. But before that, I was still working, but working from home. And then from April 2022, I started working in Japan, in Tokyo, as a software engineer.
That's great. So, now that we have now that we're done with the short introduction, I have some questions to you. These questions will be regarding lifestyle, your job, questions regarding Japanese, which will give like a pretty much insight to our audience over here. So let's start. What is that one thing that you really like about Japan?
Uh, what I really like, there's a lot of things, and it's like a lot of small things together makes it nice. But I guess what I like most is just the cleanliness and like predictability and
Hmm.
like just ease of doing things.
What do you mean when you say ease of doing things?
It's like there's a system for everything, and
Huh.
so and like if it's something that you have a problem, then like someone's thought of it, like like convenience stores all have printers, so it's like if you need to print or scan anything, you can go to any convenience store. They all have ATMs as well. They usually all have toilets as well. So it's it's like when you're planning something or you're going somewhere, it's taken care of,
I
a
see.
lot of
So you
things.
basically get anything and everything everywhere.
Well, not exactly, but like, usually you can expect that, it's like you won't face a problem. It's like if other people have faced this problem, then the solution already exists.
Okay, okay. And what is it that you don't like about Japan?
What I don't like, I guess what annoys me most is like the number of leaves are not that much, like paid leaves, and there's no sick
Oh,
leave. Yeah, usually most companies don't have any special sick leave. So when you're
uh-huh.
sick, you have to take one of your paid leaves.
I see.
So that's a bit annoying.
I see. Um, do you think now that you've been living there since 2022, I guess, do you think you've been adjusted to the culture by now?
Yeah, I think so. Like day to day, everything's pretty fine, and I don't usually have any problems as such.
Oh, okay. Um, but have you like ever encountered any incident, let's say, where you were like, oh, I wasn't supposed to do that, but it's
Hmm.
like quite back common in your hometown?
Uh, there's I don't know about there was something that I wasn't supposed to do, but it's initially when you start trying to interact with Japanese people and make friends, then a lot of times they'll say let's hang out or something, but it's quite difficult to know when they actually mean that and when they don't mean that. So so like trying to figure that out was difficult in the beginning. It still is. I just don't deal with it as much.
I
But
see. I see.
it's like it's stuff like that where you're not sure about what someone expects from you or what you can expect from someone.
Mm. Uh, any particular aspect of your life that you think has like significantly changed now that you've been living in Japan?
That's hard to say because like along with moving here, it was also my first time living alone. So like both the experience of like living in Japan and living alone are sort of mixed together.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to answer that, like thinking of only Japan. But like significantly changed is like, mm, I don't know. I think I travel more, and I like walking outside more. That's a
It's
small
a
thing.
walkable country, walkable city.
Yeah, I mean, what I mean by walkability is like it's nice to walk outside, you know.
Oh.
It's like the roads are, they're clean and there's the sidewalks are big. Then there's nice
Mm-hmm.
places to walk around, like near the river and stuff. So walking is something I'd never do in Kolkata, where I'm from. I mean, obviously, I'd walk to go to places. I'm saying I wouldn't walk to, I didn't like it,
Oh,
like
I
walking
see.
on the road. So
I
I
see.
like
I
walking here.
understand.
That's one thing. And
Mm.
yeah, traveling more as well. It's
Where do
like
you travel to?
mostly around, around Tokyo, like nearby.
How do you travel?
I used to take trains, but now I have a motorcycle, so I use the bike to get around.
So you got your driver's license in Japan.
I have a motorcycle license. I don't have a driver's license.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah, they're both different, and you have to get them separately.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's new. So was it difficult to get your motorcycle license?
Yeah, it was quite difficult. I've never ridden a bike before, so like I had to learn that and I had to learn it
Uh-huh.
here in a driving school. And
Uh-huh.
the stuff they ask on the test is like really difficult as well.
So how many times did you fall?
Oh, I fell so much. It's like I lost count. There's no uncountable.
I see. So, do you think like Japanese has helped you in living in Japan? Let's say in a hypothetical situation, you came to Japan without learning Japanese. Do you think it would have been difficult?
Yeah, I think so. It would have been like even if your job it doesn't require it, like in daily life, like in the convenience store, figuring out what something is.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, like even if you use your camera and like Google Translate, you can take pictures and translate stuff, right? But that
Mm-hmm.
only works on like properly like text which is like written like this, which is like very clear and legible, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there's a lot of text which is also like
Very rough
you
writing.
yeah, not it's just stylized, like something like this maybe even, or it's not a good example, but you get what I'm saying, like on many rappers or something, a
So
lot
if
of
I try to translate this, would I be able to? I don't know if it's visible.
maybe not, it's kind of calligraphy looking, so
Right? So we won't be able
so
to translate this, but we'd be able to translate something. So basically, Japanese is pretty much required.
yeah, it's like a lot of things become just so much easier when you know Japanese. Like, if you're
Mm.
shopping for vegetables or in the supermarket, you're shopping for stuff or you're
Mm-hmm.
buying stuff from the convenience store, then it's like a lot easier to figure out what is what and what do you need to look out for. Like you can read the
Mm-hmm.
labels.
Mm.
Then also like talking with people, like, just interacting, like asking store staff where something is. It's just like day-to-day interactions become kind of like, you don't have to think about it.
I see.
So it just makes it life easier. Like in the beginning, when I was also like I was fluent in Japanese since the time I came here, but like in the beginning, I wasn't used to talking to people and stuff. So that time it used to be a little hard to, to like sort of understand what people are saying.
Uh-huh.
But like you get used to that, and if you don't know Japanese, it'll take even harder to like figure out like, what is this person saying, or like how do I need to respond to this,
Mm-hmm.
and just like stuff like that. And then also like I went to a driving school, and like in that all the instructors only spoke Japanese, and you can get an English one as well, but like they are very few and they're more expensive. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of things where just knowing Japanese just makes like daily life
Uh-huh.
like like things which are shouldn't be hard aren't hard.
Mm, I see. So it just makes it just gets a bit convenient, I guess. Yes. So
Yeah, it's
let's move
convenient
on
and like
to yeah. Please go ahead.
no, I was just saying it's like it's not just it's like it's like stressful when you don't know it, and then like every interaction you have to like translate, and like it just makes everything harder. if
Uh-huh.
you didn't know it.
Okay. So let's move on to you some questions about your job. Can you please elaborate what your job is?
Yeah, I'm a software engineer and I work on a Android app. So I develop an Android app.
Mm-hmm.
I used to work on a website before, but now I basically a Android app developer.
And this is your like the only job you've been doing ever since you moved to Japan?
Yeah, so in this company, initially I worked as an Android developer, and then I
Uh-huh.
was shifted to like website backend developer. So using Ruby on Rails to develop a website. Then
I
after that, they shifted me back to Android again. So that's what I'm doing now.
I see. I see. And how did you find your job?
I found my job by applying to a job consultancy. That consultancy is called Asia to Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's called Fast Offer now. So like it's basically for students who want to from like Southeast Asia, South Asia,
Mm-mm.
uh, who want to look for job opportunities in Japan. So I applied there
Mm-hmm.
and they interviewed me once, and then after that they introduced me to two companies, and from there I was selected to interview with my current company. Like I mean, I interviewed both companies, but I passed the one with my current company and chose to work here. So like that's how it went about.
I see. And what's the scope for other people who want to take like the same path as you?
If you have an engineering degree and or you want to do software engineering, then like if you already have a degree and maybe like you don't even need experience, honestly. If you know Japanese and you have an engineering degree, then it's like really easy to get a software engineering job. Other engineering fields, like I don't know about, but it's presumably not that difficult because
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of companies they'll hire new people and they'll train them anyway. So like your experience and like does it your experience or even your educational background, it doesn't matter. They don't care about it as much. But like if you have good Japanese, like if you have N2, then like N1, like N1 for like other maybe humanities, but for engineering, if you have N2, then like they'll train you, and so it's really I think it's pretty easy to get a job. I know another
Mm,
person also got a job. He had some working experience in India and then he learned Japanese and got a job here. And I got a job without any experience just because I was fluent in Japanese and like I could do the training.
I see. See, that's actually great. Now let's move on to some fun questions. Do you watch anime? Are you familiar with anime?
Yeah, I don't watch it so much these days, but I used to watch a lot
Uh-huh.
of anime as a teenager when I wasn't learning Japanese and also for learning
Uh-huh.
Japanese.
So I'm guessing it basically impacted your decision to learn Japanese, being
Uh,
into the anime world.
it didn't impact that much. Like, watching anime, from that, I liked how Japanese sounded.
Mm-mm.
Uh, but it wasn't really a reason to learn Japanese. It just, but it sort of planted the seed in my head and like it gave it an idea that, maybe someday I could learn Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but yeah, it didn't influence me directly that I want to learn Japanese to watch anime without
Yeah.
subtitles, which I honestly still can't do.
You can't?
It depends, like if there's sometimes they use really hard words. Obviously,
Uh-huh.
like mostly I understand, definitely.
I see.
But like sometimes there's hard, difficult words that
Yeah.
that just come up, and like I don't understand 100%, but yeah, I do
Yeah.
get most of what's going on.
Understandable. I mean, it's pretty much the same, but if I'm watching something like Azumanga, then it works. But if I'm watching something like Demon Slayer or anything that has like all the difficult historical words, then it gets a bit difficult here as well. But yeah, it's there. So moving on to our final question, do you have any words for our young people here who are looking forward to come to Japan, to work in Japan, some inspiring words?
I guess, good luck, and like there's a lot of things which will be maybe different than how you expect, but it'll be still quite interesting and like uh and overall quite fun. So good luck.
I see. So that was that from my questions, but however, our audience over here should know who we are, why we're doing this. I'm just gonna take 5 minutes out of this time to introduce Yoisho to everyone, and then we'll move on to the Q&A round. So, hi everyone, we're Yoisho Academy and we're an educational institution dedicated to provide high quality Japanese learning. Now, what do I mean when I say high quality Japanese learning? Because I know there are other institutions doing the same, I mean, claiming to do the same. So, we're not just saying that we're going to help you clear your JLPT N2, but we're also going to help you in achieving your written and verbal skills. So, we give you a very structured course over here, which somehow brings in your paper training to you to be able to do Japanese on uh, paper, but also practically. So, what do we provide? We have a particular curriculum. So, we take you from the very basic to the boss level, and it's very super structured lessons, but they're never really boring. I mean, I can assure you that since I'm one of the teachers over here. And then we have qualified instructors. We are all N1, N2. I am N2. I've like cleared my N2. We have teachers who have also cleared their N1. They're currently living in. We also have teachers who are living in Japan. So like I can assure you that we know what we're doing. And there are like specific assessment and progress tracking that's going on. There are regular quizzes, assignments to track your progress, and at the end you also earn a certificate to prove that you've done it. There's like flexible scheduling. You want a weekday session, you want a weekend session, it's there. Let's say you want, like most of the people who join, they are working, they are in school or they are in college, they do not have time to take lessons during the day. So we also offer evening batches. Like I have classes starting from 8 p.m. at the night, which goes on till 11 p.m. Then I have early weekend batches as well, mid weekend batches as well. So we have basically anything and everything. And let's say you just have anything going on in your life, you missed a session. So we also provide you with the recording of the session. So you're just like one click away from getting what you've missed in the class. It's a very standard course. We are not here to teach 50 people at the same time. It's a very small, chill group, not more than 15 people in one batch. And in case you have doubts, you can also clear those by getting one-on-one sessions. Now, there are a lot of okay, like there are a lot of institutions out there. What makes us different? So we have very highly interactive learning. For example, in my class, one of my student can be Tanaka, one of them will be Yamada, and then they'll do role plays, real life challenges, kanji games, friendly competitions. We just want to make sure that you're practically applying what you're learning. So then when I say practically applying what you're learning, anyone can teach you. I mean, I'm not saying anyone, but yeah, you can clear your JLPT on the way when you go, but who will teach you how do you speak in an office, or what are some travel phrases? If you go to a 7-Eleven in Japan, if you go to a kombini in Japan, how do you buy something there? So yes, there's like practical Japanese for real life scenarios. It's a very supportive learning community. You can anytime hit us on WhatsApp. I get messages right at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. for clearing people's doubts, and I'm just there. And we also do uh anime and cultural events. So if you're ever in your city, you can come and like meet us as well. We have fun themes, real life situations, anything and everything, just so you could speak Japanese confidently. And it's a very faster progress, and which will leave you with zero doubts towards the end, and you just will be owning Japanese in no time. But we're not just gonna say it. This is our free hiragana katakana course that you can scan. This will help you in mastering very basic script, which is the hiragana script and the katakana script. And after this, you can call us and we can just talk about what progress you've made, whatever you want. So right now, this is completely free. I'm gonna keep the slide here for like one another minute, so you can scan it, take a screenshot, and in case you have any inquiries, you have questions, you need to know about the course, you can contact us on this number. My colleague Tushar will also leave a Google form along with one more number in the chat box, which will be pinned. So make sure that you check that. Um, and this is our current N5 batches, N5, N4 batches, N3 batches, which are starting. So we have two N5 batches. One is weekday, one is weekend. Starting the May 18 one is mine. I'm taking the May 18 one. And the N4 weekday one is also mine. Then I don't know who this is, but yes, we have a lot of courses which are like coming your way. So make sure that you're just there. It's for May and June. You're just there to enroll with us. And yeah, please write your questions in the Q&A chat box, and Tejas San will take your questions. So I think he's laughing because of the meme. I get it. I understand. We're just fun like that. Can't help it. Somebody is asking, could you please speak in Japanese?
Could I speak? Like, what do you want me to say in Japanese?
Maybe you can just introduce yourself.
Uh, okay, sure. はじめまして、ダッタテイジャスと申します。今日、自分の経歴とか、について話させていただいています。よろしくお願いします。
Hi, yoroshiku onegaishimasu. How old were you when you moved to Japan?
20, 23.
23. Someone like me who wants to pursue psychology in Japan for masters.
Uh,
Do you
d-
have anything?
and I mean, depends what you want to do after that, right? Like, if you just want to
Yeah.
study psychology, you can like just study a course here and, go back. But if you want to stay here long term with psychology, then like, I guess you'll probably work in something like, I don't know, HR or something like that, or you could work in a lot of
Mhm.
things. But the problem is that you'll definitely need a very high level of Japanese.
Mm.
So if you get N1 or something, then like you could find jobs in HR, and like there are jobs that you could do with but if you just want to study psychology, you can just do that and like leave. So it depends what you want to do.
Okay. Someone is asking that how are the openings for mechanical engineers who have experience?
Uh, like I mean, if, I'm gonna assume like first without Japanese and like then with Japanese like knowledge. So if you have experience, then but you don't know Japanese, then I'm not sure. Maybe there's like yeah, I just don't have any friends who've done that, so it's hard for me to say. But like mechanical engineering, if you learn Japanese and you have a degree, then like even without experience, I think I know some people who started working here. So I mean, either way, if you learn Japanese, it's like you'll probably find some job at least. But like
Mm-hmm.
without Japanese, with just experience, I don't know like how feasible that is.
I see. Then someone's asking, hello, I want to know what should be the roadmap for a 2-3 years experience software engineer to land a job in Japan. Will it affect its switched companies frequently?
Um, well, switch companies like you've switched companies frequently in the last 2 3 years, I guess.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
that's what it's trying to say.
yeah, so I mean, like I guess because you've switched jobs in India, it doesn't count as much. But like in general, they don't look too favorably on job hopping. So maybe if you're working in Japan, maybe stay at a company for 2 3 years and don't switch after 1 year. But like if your CV shows that you've done that in India, then India is different. So I don't think that counts. But as for roadmap on what to do next, like you could like start looking for a job even if you don't know Japanese, but then depends on how what your experience is like and like um if you what kind of companies you work for and what's your technical skill. But like
Mm.
assuming in general you're like an average person, then you should like focus on learning Japanese to at least N3, and like that with that you can start applying at least, and then of course with N once you get into it's a lot easier to find some job
Just opens more. I
options.
have a work experience of 12 years in aviation and cybersecurity. Do we have any job aspect there?
I know someone who works in cybersecurity, so I guess there are options for that.
Mm.
Um, yeah, again, it comes back to like if you know Japanese, there's something there's like especially technical stuff. There's always something that some company you'll always find, and there's Also, a lot of small companies, like I was once just applying for different jobs just like that, and like a lot of companies that interviewed me, they were like less than 100 people or like 50 people or something. So there's a lot of companies, but like these smaller companies, they don't have the infrastructure to like manage people who don't know Japanese, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you know Japanese, then you have all these small companies that you can also work at. So that's why there's just more options.
Okay.
Uh, so yeah, it's like in general, I'd say if it's something technical, you probably have job openings if you know Japanese.
Mm, Next question we have is, can we get a job without degree but only Japanese language?
Honestly, the company would probably not have a problem with that, but like the problem becomes in applying for visa. So like the specific visa that I have, like high skilled or something visa, for that you have to show that you're qualified for the job that the company is hiring you for. And so if you have a degree, then it's like you just show your degree. But if you don't have a degree, then you have to like show your experience some other way that you've done this work. So like that becomes harder. So I would say companies, if you know Japanese and you've like have some sort of experience that you can show, then not having a degree, I don't think it's a problem. But like when applying for visa, it might be difficult.
Next we have is, I will be going to Japan this September for my MSc in management from NUCB business. I want to know the job opportunities for non-technical aspects. I am in final sem of my BTech in CSE, but I am more into management and consulting, etc.
Uh, can you repeat the question again?
Sorry, yeah, sure. I will be going to Japan this September for my MSc in management from NUCB business. I wanna know the job opportunities for non-technical aspects. I am in final sem of my BTech in CSE, but I am more into management and consulting, etc.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah, so for non-technical roles, usually they require high level of Japanese. So, stuff like HR or like like I'm just saying that as an example, but they'll require a pretty high level of Japanese. So when you're aiming for non-technical, then you should like aim to get N1. It's not like N1 is that much more fluent, but it's like, it's like you can show that. Like obviously being fluent day to day and being able to talk to people matters more than the certificate itself, but like having N1 shows that you put that much effort into it.
Mhm.
Um, so I'd focus on that. And but there's also other jobs that like you don't need so much Japanese, like for example, headhunters, especially like headhunters for like for like English speaking engineers or like headhunters who target foreigners. So that sort of thing is there as well, where I think you can uh where like maybe you don't need so much Japanese, but like in general, I think you do need pretty high level Japanese.
Mm. Okay.
But I think you will
Next,
find a job, if you know Japanese. So
yeah.
at at that.
I am a student of N5 level currently and also working as a, what is DevOps engineer? Is it
Yeah,
developer engineer? I have no
no,
idea.
I know what DevOps engineer is.
Oh,
Uh,
you know, right?
yeah, I know what DevOps
Great.
engineer.
I I wanted to know about cloud specialist jobs in Japan, since this is my area of expertise, and also how much time will it realistically take for me to move to Japan, given that I have just started with N5.
Could you like repeat the question from the beginning because I got lost when you got confused
I
about DevOps.
I am a student of N5 level currently and also working as a DevOps engineer. I wanted to know about cloud specialist jobs in Japan, since this is my area of expertise, and also how much time will it realistically take for me to move to Japan, given that I have just started with my N5.
Okay. Um, yeah, like again, it depends on what your experience is like. So, when your experience is like at a super like hi-fi company and like, like you worked at a startup with a high income, then and it's quite obvious that your technical skill is high, then it's like easier to find a job even when your Japanese isn't that good. But
Mm-hmm.
again, I'm gonna assume you're some average because like most people are average. So if you're more average, then you're going to need like at least N3 makes it easier to start looking for a job. Uh, yeah, so what I mean is that, like, assuming for the average person with this sort of a description, like, you need you should target N3 just before you can start looking, and apply, but like you won't find that much like feedback. After you get N3, you get better feedback, and then again, same story, you get to N2, there's more feedback. And as for this thing, again, it's a technical role like DevOps engineer and cloud specialist in cloud technologies. Yeah, there's a lot of openings for that. Like in my company also, there's like a DevOps team, and they work on AWS and managing the infrastructure of the websites we have deployed. And again, even they're hiring and they're also looking for people, but in my company, you need at least DLPT N2 to be able to communicate with people. So like it's like like as for the job, you will find a job in that specific domain. And this is something I've just heard from other people. I don't have first-hand experience, so but I'll just share it anyway, that I've heard that having certificates from AWS helps. So like having official certifications sort of helps you negotiate a better salary. So that's something I'd look into eventually. But like for now, the main focus should be on getting to N2, and how fast you get to that is like up to you. Like it took me a year and a half, but like I used to study 8 hours a day, like 10 hours a day. Like a lot of it was just practicing. A lot of that study was watching anime. So, it's not study, but I used to practice a lot, right? So if you practice it, it's on you. But like, if you're doing it sort of, like, a few hours a day, then maybe it'll take 2, 3 years to like get to that.
I see. I am currently a BCA student from Kolkata, first year. What should I do to get job in Japan? Will give N4 directly in December.
Yeah, just finish your degree and like focus on learning Japanese as fast as possible. So, yeah, it's like pretty straightforward. Now, like I said, once you have N2, you can apply to a lot of jobs, and a lot of jobs, they just assume you don't know anything and they'll train you up anyway. So, lack of experience. So, the main focus should be on getting to N2. Now, assuming you get to N2 before you graduate, then you can do some other stuff like make some software engineering projects by yourself. But like the main focus is on N2, and like for most people, I think that'll take the bulk of your effort to get there. So I just focus on that and like passing your degree, and like that's it really.
Okay. Then we have, hi, I'm a 12-year-old and cleared N5 from Yoisho. I want to become a pilot in Japan. Can you please tell me how to enroll in Japanese high school?
I have no idea. Sorry. I don't know anyone who's enrolled in Japanese high school. I have a friend who does like flies planes as a hobby, but he had a pretty hard time like becoming an actual pilot. So honestly, I don't know anything about that stuff, although very interesting question.
Exactly. Okay. I just graduated in N4. Should I pursue N2 or apply to alternative programs in Japanese? Or just apply to jobs? Are there any websites to apply other than Daijob or Gaijinpot?
Uh, what is the question again?
Are there any other websites to apply other than Daijob or Gaijinpot? Wants to apply for jobs in Japan.
Yeah, I mean, LinkedIn as well. Like LinkedIn, there's also a lot of recruiters on LinkedIn, so you can contact the recruiters directly and start asking them. So there's a yeah, I guess LinkedIn, like I haven't done because when I haven't done so much job hunting myself here, but whatever little I have done is like through headhunters, recruiters. So they message me and then I just reply to them. But like if you look for them, you'll probably find recruiters. So you can. apply to companies directly on LinkedIn and you can contact recruiters. Um, that's what I know about that.
Then we have, how is the culture of job switching there? Like in India, as you know, people switch every 2 to 3 years of for career growth. Is it the same in Japan?
Um, I don't know. Most people don't switch that much. I mean, 2 to 3 years, some people do, some people don't. I feel like it's more common like to switch after maybe 4 or 5 years, but like it's all anecdotal and like there's still people who join the company with me who are still working here. A lot of people have left as well, or joined some other company. But I think if you switch 2 to 3 years, that's kind of fine. Like don't switch every 2 years, I'd say, I guess. But like 2 years here, 3 years there, 4, 5 years there, I think that's kind of okay. But like, companies do value like when you've stayed at a company for longer. So I like and most people like don't switch so much. It's all like it's quite like I'll tell you like in my company the bonus you get if you refer someone and they join is like 300,000 yen, you know, if you get someone to join. So like yeah, so like it's so hard to like convince people to switch that there's like this huge bonus. And and still they don't always find people. Uh I'm sorry, I got lost there, but like yeah, most people kind of don't switch so much.
Okay. Um, Currently, I am gaining experience in India as a data analyst and I am starting to learn Japanese language. I wanted to know how is the data market in Japan and what are the future requirements?
Uh yeah, I mean, I feel like all technical roles have a pretty good job market here. So, be it like the DevOps engineer from earlier or like data science. Even in my company, I've seen like, postings for data science roles. So there's always a lot of openings. And again, it comes down to the same thing. It's about how good your Japanese is, opens up your options. So like it's honestly the same thing really. Like you rest assured that like there's jobs, but like what kind and how much depends on how good your technical skills are and how much Japanese you know.
Okay. Hi, I am in talent acquisition in UK, Europe, and US market. I have 5 years of work experience. Are there any openings for me? I mean, he wouldn't know because he
Yeah.
doesn't do hiring. He's himself working somewhere. I think you should use websites like Kaizenpod, Job, or just reach out to other recruiters on LinkedIn to get answers for that.
Yeah, I feel like you would find something for that for
Yeah.
sure.
Job opportunities. Oh my God. Wait, just a minute. Job
I
opportunities in Japan after BBA.
After BBA, uh okay, first of all, I don't know what the job opportunities in general are after BBA in India, right? So to ask me what's there in Japan is like I don't know, like probably the same things in as in India. Like in general, there's a labor shortage here, as most people know. So like there's jobs like if the job exists in India, like the job probably exists here as well, because like the there's a lot of economic activity. So like it's probably the same, but like you can find a job no matter what your field is. But again, it's like depending on the job, it's like how good your Japanese needs to be able to do that job, which changes.
Please tell job scope for commerce stream.
Yeah, again, I don't honestly know what people do after commerce, right? Because I didn't study commerce. So I myself don't know what people do after commerce. Like most people I know who studied commerce, like family business sambhalte hain. So yeah, I don't know what people usually do, but I'm assuming whatever job you would do in India, like the equivalent probably exists here.
Yeah,
Uh,
but just with a bit of a hint of Japanese. Yes.
yeah, like I don't know, accountant or something. Yeah, you'd need. I'm just imagining, like, as an accountant, you'd need such high level Japanese to like talk about these, mathematical terms and like, balance sheets and all that. So like, there's probably a fair bit of specialist words involved in that.
I have a question. Is studying engineering in a Japanese university and then doing a job there is a better option than doing engineering in India and then going for a job in Japan? I'm guessing Tejas did engineering in India and got a
Yeah,
job in Japan. So
I didn't
in
even
his
do it
case, it
there.
worked out. I'm sure in your case, it will also work out. At the end of the day, it is all about you knowing how much Japanese you can do. I mean, what your Japanese level is.
The question is which is better, and like honestly, the answer to that is that there's not much advantage to studying here. It's just that if you study here and it helps you to learn Japanese, then that's good. But
Mm.
like the main thing is that if you if you study Japanese till N2, then it doesn't matter where you went to college. And like obviously studying here is going to be more expensive. So like at an objective level, it's probably better to study in India.
How did you learn kanji? Because I can't understand it. This is the question.
Okay, so I used a very interesting book and a very interesting method to learn kanji. It's called Heisig's method of learning the kanji.
Oh, I have also done that.
Yeah, so like what it basically does is that it groups kanji based on like kanji is made up of radicals, which are like the parts
Radicals.
of the kanji. So what the book does is that it groups the kanji by the radicals, and then like each radical is like given a meaning, and based on the meaning of the radicals, you create a story which helps you to remember the meaning of the kanji.
Mm.
So I did that for all the kanji and I learned through the book, but like honestly, I've forgotten most of what each individual kanji means not by now. It's only like when I see it in context and when I'm reading, then I
The
can understand.
compounds.
Yeah. So like these days, I don't really know what each individual kanji means anymore. I've kind of forgotten most of it.
Hello, I'm currently trying to plan my next steps, but I'll admit the current situation in the Indian IT sector has me a bit worried. It feels like getting a good placement is becoming harder every day. To balance things out, I am looking into specializing in dev ops and starting to learn Japanese on the side. I've heard that Japan offers a much more stable environment for engineers, and I'm curious if you think moving toward that market is a smart move. Do you think having that language skill combined with DevOps would actually help me stand out and find a more secure job? I'm just trying to find a path where I don't have to constantly worry about layoffs. And I'd love to know if you think Japan is a realistic solution for a student like me. So, DevOps with Japanese to move to Japan because IT in India is having him a bit worried.
Yeah, I think like even with all the AI stuff, the IT job market here is quite stable. Um, yeah, I don't think there's been any stories about people getting laid off because of AI. I use AI a lot in my job and it makes us more efficient, but it's not like, there's still a high demand for engineers, software engineers, and like especially something like DevOps. Uh, so yeah, I think it is good to like target to work here because if you know Japanese again, you will probably find a job. And then once you get a job, it is really hard to get laid off. So then you don't have to worry about that ever again. Uh, because honestly, one of my juniors at my job, he was kind of performing badly, and they were trying to figure out how to lay him off for like months. But eventually, the company couldn't figure out how to lay him off because he wasn't doing anything wrong. He was just like he just couldn't do something, but like it wasn't his fault. So they couldn't give a good reason to lay him off. So he never got laid off, and they sort of had to reassign him to a different team. So like you don't, if you work here, you don't, and you have like a permanent position, like if you get hired as a contract worker, like a lot of people work as like hakken kaisa, like dispatch worker, where like you work for a company and the company dispatches you to another company, or like you work at a contract basis, and then yeah, you don't have that security. But if you get a permanent, if you get hired as a permanent employee, then like it's really hard to get fired. You have to like really do something really like out of the blue. So like you, in that sense, once you get a job here, you have that sort of peace of mind and job security. So I think like right now, again, I just focus on learning Japanese and maybe learn some things about DevOps, but honestly, you can get hired for that role without much experience or knowledge because again, like a lot of companies, they'll just train you. So I definitely focus first on learning Japanese, getting to N2, and then once you do that, then you can like add on technical knowledge. But like once you have N2, then you have like the all the options. And like what I'm saying is that when once you have N2, there are companies that will train you and they don't care about your experience and they'll hire you anyway. So once you have N2, you're like you can apply for them sooner. Um, yeah.
If I have cleared N5, can I join course for N4 and N3 together, or is there any another? You can't do N4 and N3 together. It's like you can't do second and third state standard together. You can't do ninth and tenth together. The same way you can't do N4 and N3 together. Now that you've cleared N5, then you move to N4, you clear N4, and then you move to N3. You can skip the exam and start and give the N3 exam directly. That does not mean you'll skip N4 syllabus. You have to study N4. It's a building. You have to like make every you have to like set the foundation properly. And N5 and N4 actually makes a lot of difference for you to clear your N3 and N2.
Yeah, it all builds on each other.
Tell me more about evening batch and cost. Regarding the cost, batches, I'm not gonna take those questions. The number, you can just directly reach out to that number and the admin team will help you with that. Is there any food problems for vegetarians in Japan?
I'm not vegetarian and I'm not even like religious, so I don't really think about it. But I I mean, you'll find everything you need at a supermarket. So if you cook yourself, there's no problem. Now,
Yeah.
if you eat outside, yeah, most restaurants are kind of non-vegetarian. I guess it's harder to find, but you do find veg food, like noodles, like soba noodles, just plain noodles. So like, and even the convenience store does like sell vegetarian food. Uh, so I'm not vegetarian, so it's hard to say, but like, I don't think it's that hard. But like your options for eating out are a lot lesser for sure. But like surviving and day-to-day eating, I don't think there's a issue.
I'm learning Japanese and I'm a game developer. I have a proper portfolio but not a proper degree. Can I get a job in Japan?
Yeah, I answered a similar question before, and I think you can like you can find a job with like experience and without a degree, but like it's when you apply for the visa, I don't know how easy it is to like show that you're ready for the job. I guess it's not that hard, but like yeah, like in terms of getting a job, I think you can get a job. Like yeah, if you know Japanese and you have experience, then like you can get a job as a game developer even if you don't have a degree. Like honestly, they don't really care about degrees so much here. Like most people, they get a degree and they start working in something completely unrelated. A lot of my software engineer colleagues, they have degrees in like not just forget engineering. It's like completely non-technical, like economics or like some humanities something. So like they don't really care about degree, just that you've got a degree. They're just that like in general that you've got through it. But if you have other experience, then that's good enough, I think.
Give suggestions for class 11 students. What should we do after 12th?
I mean, that's so broad. Like, what do you want to do after 12th, Like,
I mean, exactly. I mean, he doesn't even know what kind of stream you belong to, so I think that's a bit harder for him to answer that question. But maybe if you could elaborate your situation a bit, then it'll be better. Uh, Hi, so my question is, what is something you would like to give advice to someone learning Japanese as a beginner? Study.
uh, Yeah, of course that. But it's like when I studied, I focused a lot on just reading and listening a lot before I started speaking. So for me, like understanding was more important than speaking. Um, yeah, I mean, it's just practice. Of course, it's study, but it's also a lot of practice. You don't have to like sit there and like memorize words lists or like do tons of practice questions. You can do other stuff. You can read the news. You can like, yeah, if you can find a language partner on something like HelloTalk, you can talk to someone and
Read
practice
books.
Japanese.
I
Yeah, I
do
mean
that.
that's harder in the beginning. So you
Yeah, but
like like you can start small. Like you can like read art news articles and small things like that.
mm,
Or watch YouTube videos. There's a lot of beginner centric content for learning Japanese and practicing Japanese. So like
mm.
just like yeah, even if you don't study, at least practice, like just do it a lot.
Uh, are there any job recruiting companies which hire people from India?
From India, I don't know if about India specific, but I know Asia to Japan is like they accept people from all over Asia and Southeast Asia. So I think they do have some people who work in India as well. So like Asia to Japan or like fast offer as it's called now, I think they do like they don't specialize in Indian students, but like it's a part of like what they do. So
Mhm.
that's one I know. That's the one I got my job through. But other ones like I think there are some, but I'm not familiar with them because I've not had to use them.
From an engineering POV, mainly CS, what should we more focus on? The skills, then learning the Japanese language, or managing the skills as well as the Japanese language side by side?
Yeah, so it's like similar to questions I've answered before. Like just focus on learning Japanese first is the most important thing because like also you have to think about it this way. Whatever your technical skills are, it's kind of hard for a company here to evaluate, right? They can't you can say I've done this for this many years and like shown this kind of project, but like it's hard for them to like know. But when you speak Japanese, it's obvious that you can't fake it. Like of course an N2 certificate, all that, like N2 certificate gets you through the door, but then once you speak, then they know for sure, like you know it or not, right? So that's something
Mm.
that's it's like it's really hard to fake. So that's and like a lot of jobs require it, like just flat out. So focusing on learning Japanese first is always what I'd recommend for most people. And like once you do that, then start applying for jobs and like focus like upskilling your technical skills side by side. But like getting to N2 as fast as possible is like the most high ROI course of action, in my opinion.
A very interesting question. What is the average income of engineers in Japan, or can you tell yours? But the main question is how much is the cost of living in Japan compared to how much you can earn? And can you stay in Japan forever like a resident? Basically, they're
Right.
asking your salary.
No, there's like three questions in that, right? So one is that can you stay forever? I mean, as long as you have a job, you can stay and yeah, in general. But like after you stay for 10 years, then you can apply for permanent residency. Then you can like legit be unemployed and useless and stay forever. But before that, it depends on how long you have your job. Right. So the other part was like what the cost of living is like and how much what the average salary is like. So
Mm.
for software engineers, like the minimum salary I've seen is like 200, 230,000 yen per month, I think. Yeah, something like that, 250,000. So in general, entry level salaries in Japan are something like that. I can say my entry level salary was 4.2 million yen per year. That's not what I earn now. And the reason I feel comfortable sharing this is because this is public knowledge available on my company's website. So so like there's different companies, like if you work at a nicer company like mine, then you'll start out at like 3.6 million yen per year, 4 million yen per year. If you start
Mhm.
at a super basic company, like a smaller company which is like not that nice, which is like more Japanese and like less sort of like Western, there you get paid minimum at least 240,000 yen per month or something like that. So it does depend. then once you've like grown in your career and stuff, I think like I think mid-level engineer, 7 million yen is not that uncommon. So I feel that once you work here for a while, I feel like anyone can reach 10 million yen per year. Um, at the highest, I've seen one of my a guy from my office. He switched his job. He gets 20 million yen. He's Indian as well. So like on the high end, you can get 15 to 20, but that's later down the line. So yeah, I'd say if you're somewhat decent engineer, you're getting somewhere like 3 to 4 million. If you're like super basic, maybe less than 250,000 yen per month to 220 to 250,000 per month. And average is like, and then if you're mid-level, something like 7 to 10. Then cost of living, what's it like? Again, depends on your income. Even if you have like 200 on 220 to 250,000 yen per month, your rent is going to be something like, again, depends where you stay, how far you stay, what kind of arrangement you stay at. So, but like minimum is going to cost you, I guess, 60,000 at least if you're like one room in a share house. So, then eating food, if you don't eat out much, you can like get by with 20, 30,000. If you eat out a lot like me, then like your food bills maybe, 60 to 70,000 groceries and eating out. So it depends how you live, but like in general, like even at a starting salary, it's like enough to live and have some extra money, but you won't have a lot of extra money, especially if you like doing more, like if you want to travel and do stuff like that. So you'll have to, I feel like it's not very hard to find this information. You can ask ChatGPT and it'll probably give you the answer you're looking for. Exactly.
Okay, so we're down to our last question. We won't be taking any more questions after this. It's I am in 11th standard in India. I've researched as a path I found. After 12th, I'll do BCA, Bachelor of Computer Application, and I'll finish my MCA here too. And by learning like Japanese side by side. So is this path legit? Please help.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a decent plan. Like, yeah, that's fine. Do that. I'll just add that having an MCA will not help with finding a job in Japan. So, like, if you can learn Japanese before you finish, like, I mean, if you want to do MCA, do it fine. But like, if you're like focused on I want a job ASAP, then you can skip that step if you learn Japanese. If you
You
get
think it's
into
enough?
before you finish BCA, yeah. Like BCA is also like they don't differentiate bachelors or masters. Most people don't even have masters here. So like I'm just saying you don't need that, but if you want to do it, then there's no harm in doing it. I'm just saying it won't add any value to your profile.
Yeah, so we're done with this. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Tejas, for you to join, take questions, give answers, make people laugh. Thank you very much. Okay, please keep a track on the next webinar. But I think we will be coming up with demos now. We have a demo scheduled for coming Tuesday. I'll be taking that demo. So if you want to start journey, you want to see that whatever we told you today, that how we are good at what we do, if you really want to put us on that test, feel free to join that demo. Yes. And bye bye. Bye. Thank you
Bye.
very much.
Thanks for
Bye.
having me.